Video opens with a dramatic shot of the caravan tilted precariously in the snow. Oh my gosh. Look at this. This is insane. Our home on wheels is literally on the verge of tipping over into a snowy ditch. My heart is pounding just looking at it. Welcome back to our channel, everyone. If you're new here, we're usually showing you the beautiful, serene side of van life. But today is a completely different story. This is the reality of what can go wrong. And honestly, it's one of the scariest moments we've ever faced on the road. So, how did we get into this mess? It all started with what was supposed to be a dream winter camping trip. We found this incredible spot, deep in the mountains, covered in a pristine blanket of fresh snow. The views were breathtaking. The air was crisp. It was perfect. We spent the first day just soaking it all in, building snowmen, having snowball fights. It was pure magic. We felt so lucky to be experiencing this winter wonderland. The plan was to stay for a few days, enjoy the solitude, and then head out before the next big snowstorm was predicted to hit. The first night was cozy. We had our heater running, we cooked a warm meal, and we fell asleep to the gentle sound of snowflakes falling outside. The next morning, we woke up to even more snow than we expected. It was beautiful, but a little voice in the back of my head started to worry. The forecast had changed, and the storm was coming in faster and heavier than predicted. We knew we had to pack up and leave quickly. And that's when the trouble began. As we started to drive out, the tires just couldn't get a grip. The fresh powder was deep, and underneath it was a layer of slick ice. We were completely stuck. We tried everything we could think of, rocking the van back and forth, putting down our traction mats, shoveling snow away from the wheels. Nothing worked. We were just spinning our tires, digging ourselves deeper and deeper into the snow. Panic started to set in. We were miles from the nearest paved road, with no cell service. We spent hours trying to get unstuck. The sun was starting to set, and the temperature was dropping fast. We were exhausted, cold, and getting really scared. Just as we were about to give up and resign ourselves to spending another night, a friendly local in a huge 4x4 truck happened to drive by on a nearby trail. It felt like a miracle. He saw our predicament and offered to help pull us out. We were so relieved, so grateful. He hooked up a tow strap, and with the power of his truck, we slowly started to move. It felt like we were finally going to be free. But then, disaster struck. As the caravan was being pulled, one of the wheels on the side of the track slipped off the packed snow and into the soft, deep powder on the edge. The whole caravan lurched violently to the side. I heard a terrifying groan of metal, and from inside, everything came crashing down. We looked out the window and saw this. The caravan tilted at a horrifying angle, balanced precariously on the edge of a deep snow-filled ditch. It was a gut-wrenching moment. We thought for sure it was going over. All of our belongings, our home, everything was seconds away from being destroyed. The driver of the truck immediately stopped. We all just stood there in shock, staring at the leaning van, too scared to even breathe. The slightest movement felt like it could send it tumbling. We carefully exited from the high side, my hands shaking so much I could barely unlatch the door. So there we were, stuck, in the dark, in the freezing cold, with our home about to fall into a ditch. It felt completely hopeless. But our rescuer, this absolute angel of a human, wasn't ready to give up. He said he had an idea. He told us to wait there and that he'd be back. He drove off into the darkness, leaving us alone with our teetering home and our growing fears. Waiting for him to return felt like an eternity. Every gust of wind made the caravan creak and sway, and my heart jumped into my throat. After what felt like forever, we saw headlights approaching. It wasn't just our friend in his truck. He had brought reinforcements. Following him was a massive piece of machinery, a front-end loader from a nearby farm. I couldn't believe my eyes. This guy had literally gone and found heavy machinery to come and save us. It was the most incredible and humbling display of kindness we have ever experienced. The next hour was a slow, incredibly tense operation. The loader operator was a true professional. He carefully positioned the huge machine, using the bucket to gently nudge and support the high side of the caravan. It was a delicate dance between immense power and precise control. He had to lift it just enough to level it out without pushing it over the other way. Meanwhile, the truck was still attached with the tow strap, ready to pull forward as soon as the van was stable. We all held our breath, watching in the glow of the headlights. Slowly, painstakingly, the loader pushed against the side of the caravan. We could hear the snow compressing and the frame of the van groaning under the pressure. Inch by inch, it started to straighten up. It was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever witnessed. Finally, after what seemed like an age, the caravan was back on all four wheels, level and stable on the track. A wave of relief washed over me so intense it almost brought me to my knees. With the caravan upright, the loader held it steady while the truck began to pull again. This time, it worked. The tires found purchase, and we were pulled, slowly but surely, out of the deep snow and back onto a more solid part of the track. We were finally free. We were saved. We couldn't thank our rescuers enough. We offered them money, anything we could give, but they refused. They just smiled and said they were happy to help. That's what people do in their community. It was a powerful reminder that even in our darkest, most frightening moments, there is so much good in the world. People who will go out of their way, mobilize heavy machinery in the middle of the night, all for complete strangers. This experience was terrifying, but it taught us so much. It taught us about the real dangers of winter travel and the importance of being overprepared. But more than that, it taught us about the incredible power of human kindness and community. We almost lost everything, but what we gained was a renewed faith in people and a story we will never, ever forget. We limped our way to the nearest town, found a safe place to park, and just sat there for a while, processing everything that had just happened. Our home was a mess inside, but it was safe. We were safe. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of our journey. The good parts and the scary parts. It means the world to us. If you enjoyed this crazy story, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more adventures. We promise they're not all this stressful. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.